Hello everyone, and welcome to my EastEnders Media News channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Spoilers for EastEnders ahead. Next week on EastEnders, a special episode will reveal Yolanda's attack to Patrick, while George receives a startling prognosis and Billy presses his father Stevie for clarification. Here is a comprehensive list of the most significant upcoming events. 1. Patrick is concerned about Yolanda. Particularly after Sonia reveals that Yolanda skipped a doctor's visit that he was unaware of, Patrick becomes concerned for Yolanda. When Yolanda fails to show up for the food van's launch, Denise also becomes worried and tells Patrick that Pastor Clayton might be able to speak with her. Following Denise's counsel, Patrick confides in Pastor Clayton, who suggests that Yolanda might not be feeling well. Yolanda becomes enraged when Patrick informs her about Pastor Clayton's concerns during a heart-to-heart conversation. 2. Billy snaps at people. Billy is firm that his dad is not permitted to be close to their family, despite Honey's best efforts to convince him to give Stevie a chance. Afterwards, Stevie runs into Will, Lexi, and Janet and attempts to have lunch with them all to get to know them better. Billy is incensed upon learning of this, but Honey maintains that the kids have a right to know their grandfather. Billy gets furious when he finds Will at the cafe with his grandfather, even though he has been defying Honey's requests to allow the family to see Stevie. Billy is terrified that he is becoming more and more like his father as the situation verges on violence. 3. George receives heartbreaking information. When Gina and Anna reveal that Eddie arranged Gloria's burial without telling him, George is horrified. George, in pain, calls Rufus to set up a brawl. Gina and Anna, who want to help their dad, think of the idea of hosting a memorial service for Gloria at the Vic to ease George's grief. Their half-brother Junior receives a telegram from Anna inviting him to join them. 4. Patrick discovers the reality. When Elaine calls to see how Yolanda is doing, she asks her friend to tell Patrick the truth about Pastor Clayton because Yolanda can't bring herself to do it herself. Patrick is devastated, and Elaine calmly explains what's occurred to him over the phone. In a unique two-hander, Patrick will attempt to talk to Yolanda, who has locked herself in the bathroom, while he tries to comprehend the news. Yolanda runs to stop Patrick as he goes to confront Pastor Clayton, though, as his rage takes over. 5. Yolanda takes a bold choice. Yolanda and Patrick start talking about what Yolanda has been through as soon as they get back inside. In the end, Yolanda consents to inform the church authorities about Pastor Clayton. Yolanda insists on going alone, even though Patrick wishes to accompany her. Later, Yolanda tells Levi that she was sexually assaulted by Pastor Clayton. He praises her bravery and says he would look into her issue as soon as possible. 6. George is given an unsettling diagnosis. George is recovering from severe injuries sustained in his struggle the previous evening on the day of Gloria's memorial. Gina and Anna are upset that Junior is not coming, but things worsen when George loses consciousness and nearly passes out. When Cindy and Phil realize what's going on, they make George go to the hospital and get scanned. Later, George is horrified to learn that he has a brain disorder connected to chronic head trauma and that a single strike to the head could be fatal. When Elaine and the daughters find out that he has been fighting and that Cindy was fully aware of it, they become enraged. 7. Billy addresses Stevie. Billy is advised by Phil to stay near Stevie and discover his true motivations. Billy goes out for a drink with Stevie against his better judgment and asks to know what his father really wants. Billy is left thinking when Stevie maintains that he's just a lonely elderly man who wants to get to know his family. To their surprise, Billy has asked Stevie over when Honey, Will, and Janet get home. 8. Denzel's ideas have angered Amy. Denzel makes plans to work with Ebony, an influencer. When Amy learns about Denzel's partnership with influencer Ebony, she is not very thrilled. 9. George receives an ultimatum from Cindy. Following George's prognosis, Cindy witnesses Rufus approaching George and offering him another fight in addition to the money from the previous night. Cindy has additional issues to deal with because Gina and Anna have stopped talking to her after she revealed George's boxing secret. After some time, they decide to have lunch together, and Cindy makes a pledge to persuade George to stop fighting. Cindy suggests George use internet therapy to help him deal with his intense emotions, but George initially rejects her offer. Cindy issues an ultimatum to George after he calls Rufus to set up a fight for the next week while he is by himself. 10. Patrick experiences emotional difficulties. Hearing that Levi has set up a meeting with his superiors for the upcoming week doesn't sit well with Patrick, who finds the glacial pace of the process frustrating. In the cafe, he confronts Levi and threatens to take matters into his own hands if he doesn't move things ahead. Yolanda urges Patrick to stop after he confronts Pastor Clayton angrily at the community center after he witnesses him posturing. Ahead of the Eurovision Song Contest, Ollie Alexander will be making a surprise visit on EastEnders. The UK will be represented in Eurovision next month by the Years and Years singer with the song Dizzy, which has already peaked at #1 in the music charts. It turns out that Ollie will be practicing for the Eurovision contest in Walford, which means that he will be seeing Johnny Carter again in an EastEnders cameo. The many enthusiastic supporters of Eurovision will meet Ollie at the Vic, where a local of Walford takes advantage of the festive mood to pop the question to their significant other. "I'm thrilled to be making my first appearance on EastEnders and in the most iconic pub in the UK," Ollie stated. "I'm overjoyed that I had the opportunity to spend time on set with the incredible cast and crew and meet some great cinematic giants. Since this is my mother's favorite program, I wanted to surprise her, but I believe the secret is out now and she will adore it." After finding out that the singer is a huge fan of the BBC One soap opera, EastEnders producer Chris Crenshaw continued, saying it was impossible for Ollie to resist making a cameo appearance. "When we discovered that Ollie Alexander was a huge fan of the show and an opportunity arose in one of our stories, it was the perfect moment for us to invite him to Albert Square to appear," said the producer. "We hope the audience enjoy Ollie's special guest appearance as much as everyone at EastEnders enjoyed having him in Walford." Because of the iconic singer Cheryl Baker's visit last year and the topical scene that was inserted to celebrate Eurovision being broadcast in the UK, an annual celebration of the event takes place in Walford on EastEnders. This new appearance will run later in the spring, just in time for the May Eurovision Song Contest in Malmö, Sweden.